2 games down, 1 to go in group stage 2. Before we enter the bracket stage, night shots of 6th Street here in Austin, Texas. I've been here for less than 24 hours and I already know that street. It's going to be where Rotty will be joining on Sunday night for a lot of fun we will have in Texas. An entertaining series we just watched. The last one there, that Terran versus Terran. In Control, you were sitting back here and you enjoyed every moment of it. Glued to the screen.
I did, actually. I think, unfortunately, Ruff gets kind of the short end of the stick. Like, everyone kind of lolls and is like, oh, he's such a cheesy player. There's nothing to take him serious about. But, yeah, he gave a hell of a series. It was actually Calazar that survived Ruff. And Ruff did some, like, that Game 2 build was really cool. It had a couple of moments there where there was maybe a chance. And then Game 3, we kept being like, gosh, he should be really dead. But his tech was just really cool. I think he needs to, if he just made SCVs. I feel like if he made SCVs.
A few more, yeah.
A dozen. Let's call it a dozen.
Yeah.
It was like he won the fight. He's pushing back, but and then Nate would be like, Nate the Killjoy, the Killjoy commentator is like, no, he still has 25 SCVs.
Well, you know,
we're like, oh, that's really bad, isn't it? He's like, yeah, here's the fight. And they're like, wouldn't quite go decisively, and then come back. He's like, yeah, he's got 25 SCVs. He's dead.
But that kind of embodies the stage of the tournament, Roddy. There's obviously, it's not the highest level of StarCraft we've ever seen, but people are having fun. It's entertaining. The crowd's having a lot of fun watching these games as well.
Yeah, and then there's still a chance that both these guys advance from their group. I'm not even sure who else is in that group, but some of the groups are pretty damn stacked already in the second group stage. Some of them pretty straightforward, where you can say like, all right, one person is going to advance for sure. Let's say it's Snoot, for instance. Yeah. But that second place kind of up for grabs. Could be the case in that group as well. But obviously, you know, when we enter bracket play, that's when all fun ends, and that's where it gets serious. A lot of money on the line and stuff. But for now, I'm enjoying it. I've seen some fun stuff already.
Yeah, which brings us to this match, and I'm super pumped. I know you were talking a lot about the big name player. I mean, Elroye, talk about how decisive that is. I mean, you know exactly how this is going to go.
So Jeff is teasing me right now because I'm actually not that familiar with Elroye. I know he's from Switzerland. I know he plays for Dead Pixels, at least according to Wikipedia. But D-Pix.
He plays for D-Pix, please.
Other than that, I'm kind of unfamiliar with him. But Sean, as the resident European expert,
you know
I'm
so
sure
much.
I know.
You're the European.
Those tutorials.
Roddy, you're also from the Netherlands.
No, he's American.
I'm more of the American
One of the
scene
two
right
Europeans. Please just give us the info.
I'm not as good as StarCraft as you guys, so I've never met this guy on ladder before, so I'm not as insightful.
I
as
play
I'd
NA
like
ladder,
to be.
like on European ladder, I'm diamond at best, Sean. So.
Yeah, it's just, we would never reach him either.
Nate, talk to us about Elroye. Seriously, though, on a serious note.
I feel like if you say his name backwards, it's almost like Eeyore or something. That's
that's
all I got.
Elroy's played in quite a few DreamHacks, that's for sure, though. Like, he's signed up to multiple across the years. I don't think he's ever managed to get anything notable to his belt.
Is he kind of like Raynor, like super young?
No, I don't think so.
He's not young?
He's not that young.
Okay.
You can't play until he says tournaments if you're that
very young.
Yeah, he's like a young 20-year-old.
So jokes aside, this is actually one of the cool things I think about a tournament like this. We don't know who he is. We're not going to pretend to know who he is, but he came all the way over here and is making do on it. He's playing on the stage. He's going to have a good shot. And he's playing against Bales, who's in, you know, a similar situation where I feel like a lot of us North American people, we're actually kind of hyped on Bales. Bales is one of the better North American Protoss players, but like so many of these guys, we say that, but there's no results to back it up, and this could be the chance for either one of these young gentlemen to perhaps do it.
He's playing in the finals tomorrow of the TESPA Collegiate Archon Tournament, mate.
Right? That's amazing. The Archon Tournament.
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be really good.
Hey, man.
Actually,
I believe Lycangrope is commentating that as well.
No, I think it's just Nate and I.
Well, he's commentating one of those silly little tournaments.
Well, here is Bales, of course, on screen.
What a handsome guy.
Nate, I hope that you've been able to play against him on the ladder yourself.
Oh man,
Nate is always in a great mood when he runs into Bills.
This was Bills and I love this guy so much because not only is he such a charming, young, handsome fellow, he knocked me out of every WCS qualifier I played in last year.
And there's his prize earnings from it. You can see it.
Yeah,
almost $9,000.
Somehow I've run into him in almost every bracket of anything I've ever tried in, and I'm like, I do not want him to be the first person I play against. He's a top contender. He's very, very strong. Although it's hard to put him above, you know, guys like obviously Neeb. I would say Huck and Puck are probably two far more accomplished players that do have the results.
Of course.
And
that
could he look any more European for you, Jeff?
It's pretty close. He is pretty up there. I'm trying to. That was what you just heard. There was the mental math in Jeff's head of what's an appropriate joke to make and what's not. We're just gonna move past it. No, but like I said, I'm really excited about this because again, we made jokes about we don't know who this guy is, but he came all the way from Switzerland, all the way from Europe, and he's here to play in Austin.
He's one of the many European players that are well ranked and well placed in Grandmaster that you don't necessarily know too much about, but there's a lot of good players like that. I know when you've played on the European server over
Zergs,
the years.
man, just coming out.
Just European Zergs.
Wow.
What is it about
No, I mean,
Zergs in
obviously-
Europe?
I mean, this is going to be a good match, and this is definitely one of these matches where, all jokes aside, there's a lot of NA pride on the line because we've been hyping up Bills for a while. Bills is a really good player. We consider him one of the absolute best in North America. If this, no offense, but quote-unquote relatively unknown European comes over / no name and beats the hell out of Bills, that looks really bad on NA.
I'd be pretty Russell.
Yeah, that looks bad on NA. So there's definitely quite a bit of NA pride on the line here.
Yeah.
Bills is the favorite for me. Maybe some Europeans right now are nodding their heads like, no, you haven't played against Elroye.
Yeah.
He's really good. Well, I'm in for a treat. Let's do it then. But
I
for
think
me, Bills is the favorite.
That's going to be the story across these next few days is
Yeah,
Europe
yeah,
versus
yeah.
America because there's so many of them are going to happen. But let's go to predictions. Roddy, you going to...
I'm going to go 2-0 Bills. Bills is actually solid against Zerk as well. He's not just good overall, but he's definitely pretty damn good against Zerk.
Did you know his Twitch name is Solid Bales?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
did not know
Huge
that.
Metal Gear Solid.
Play
fan.
on words, I believe. Prediction-wise, I mean, to be fair, and I know that I'm usually in the corner of like Jeff doesn't know who he's talking about. I really don't know who Elroye is at all. So I'm going to hope for a 2-1 in Bale's favor. And just as a note, I feel like this is what we were supposed to have, by the way. Bales is taking time out of his college. This is finals week, but he's qualified for one final. And then he could actually make life-changing money this weekend.
Yep.
And Elroye, he took time out of those discotheques. And honestly, you laugh, but that's a huge commitment. That's potential women that he could have seduced and people that he could have befriended and began a journey. So
I love how your mind works sometimes.
Great analysis. I'm going with my boy Bales. Like I said, I've been casting B streams for years. I have no idea who Elroye is. I think maybe I've heard his name mentioned, but I've never seen him play. Bales is he's good. He
watch
is
Elroye
Bales.
just smoke. It's like no, it's not close at all.
I mean,
Bale's
he's
like, what's happening?
Guys, he's on that Pixels. You got to do something, right, to be on that team, unless he's an investor in the team and just rocks the tag with pride. He's from Switzerland after all, so maybe he's got a good bank account somewhere, we don't know, but you got to be pretty damn good to be on the team, so maybe this is going to be a lot closer than we expect it to be. But still, it would be really bad for North America and NA Pride if Bills just got smoked over here.
We got a few horses in the race. I'm excited to see Puck, State, Neeb.
Neeb is a
It's
big
all
boy.
Protoss. I mean, we make jokes about Zerg, but Protoss is doing pretty okay here as well.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. It is predicted so on the desk that Bales is going to win. We'll find out. Let's go to the casters.
All right, thank you guys very much, and we are going to jump right into this. Very excited for this match. Again, obviously, we made a lot of jokes about this, but at the end of the day, it's still a fairly early, but getting into the meat of the tournament. And here is our red Protoss player hailing from America. It is Bales.
Yeah, someone who's been getting quite a bit of love lately on a lot of these online casts, the base rate TVs, and even whenever Nate casts him, Nate is showing him so much love, but it's definitely time that he has a very memorable run at a big stage. He did great at TESPA, but it's still just a college tournament. This is the big stage. He's gonna have to do it here, or at least start the run, against this man. We've been joking a little bit. It is Elroye. Repping that Pixels. He's pretty stylish, though.
He is.
He's very European.
I didn't want to
indeed.
say he's a very handsome guy. If I was a single young lady, I would probably take a run at that. Interesting opening up here from Bales. The ramp on this map is a little bit closer together. And I actually like this wall in, too. By the way, the pylon would otherwise be exposed, but he's going to have a Cybernetics core and a gateway in front of that. He's going to want another pylon to perhaps trim down the opening there. And then this is also something Protoss players are starting to do more of, which is get back into the probe scouting. It used to be kind of the standard with cannon rushing and that kind of thing. It went away. And then people were like, well, if I'm going to one-gate expand, I'm going to be very greedy with my probes. But now people are blocking hatches some more.
Yeah, I really love blocking hatches. Even if they take their natural somewhere else, well, fine. It still means that they're going to have to transfer the drones over there, and it still takes a little longer. It just slows the Zerg economy down quite a bit. It feels really intimidating and scary when you play against somebody that's exactly your level, and it doesn't matter if you're Mid-Master League or Grandmaster League, and you just let the Zerg do whatever they want. It just feels really intimidating as a Protoss. So if you can be annoying, I mean, I often say that StarCraft 2, the more annoying you are, the better you're playing.
Reapers, dude. I figure myself to be a pretty cool, like kind of calm StarCraft player, but Reapers get under my skin. I also like probe scouting in the PvZ matchup these days too, because Legacy of the Void has been so good, and we made jokes again, but what I mean this in earnest. Zerg has more options these days. Their openings can be more diverse, whereas in Heart of the Swarm, it felt like they were kind of locked into what they could do.
Absolutely, and you got to worry about a lot of things. If you play Protoss, maybe that's why Bills is sending out one of his very first adepts. I like going with 2 adepts a little bit better because I just feel you have so much more potential.
They can actually do something.
Yeah, but there is still a chance that his first adept does something. If these Lings run into the main base and get, you know, detect that Twilight Console, that would be pretty big already, because I think that's a pretty massive scout that's going to force out some additional queens. Should be able to drop a Roach Warren as well. I would definitely get a Roach Warren against this, because even when you think you can just defend this with Lings, eventually these adepts will find a sweet spot, and it doesn't matter if you have 20 Lings or 100, adepts will still kill the Zerglings. So if I was Elroye right now, I'd go for a Roachborn.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be the order. He also has to be concerned because he did see it upgrading, but of course a Dark Shrine is not the most expensive building, so that is a possibility as well.
Or maybe a Baneling Nest, right? That's something that a lot of Zergs like doing these days. But I still feel it's a little bit risky to try to kill a crazy amount of adepts with just Lings and Banes. Can it work? Yes, absolutely. If you take one bad fight, it's over. I'm more of a fan of the Roach Warren defense.
Roach Warren is, I think, the safer path, but I think the payoff with a Baneling Nest is actually really high. It scares the composition of the Protoss, because when they see a Baneling Nest, they think, well, okay, you could drop that on my mineral lines, but also I'm probably going to need to go in the direction of Archons and Immortals, and if not that, then Blink Stalkers, I guess. But I feel like it defines the Protoss choices off of just a tech structure that maybe they don't even make. Maybe it's Roach Warren and Baneling Nest, and they don't make Banelings.
I do like how you say that there. Like, I guess higher risk, but that's definitely a higher reward if you're able to do a great job with your Banelings. But that's not going to be the case. The Roach Warren is about to finish up, but Elroye needs to start building some Roaches immediately. Otherwise, they are going to be too late. And look at this middle line. It's so exposed. 5 adepts with the upgrade. I wouldn't follow those shades, by the way. I would just go in here. Well done, Bills. And he's going to be able to do a lot of work. And Elroye's in a little bit of trouble, man.
He's in a, well, I mean, like, so much information has been had here. He's seen nothing but just Zerglings.
Cancel again. Yeah, I love it.
He just cancels again. He's going to get more drones. Elroye got caught doing that thing that really frustrates me, because you'll lose a game where the Zerg has like 85 drones, just steamrolls you, and you're like, did he actually just make nothing except for drones? And that was the case here, but he is being punished for it right now.
Yep, 5 adepts were able to kill 10 drones, a lot of lost mining time, and let's not forget about these 7-8 roaches that Elroye is sitting on right now that are absolutely useless. Double Stargate is going to be the follow-up. That's was very popular for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But now it's been falling off a little bit, but it's kind of good though. If he gets a couple of Phoenixes out, lifts the roaches.
Like it.
You don't like it?
I don't, because this third should never go down. Like, the Zerg should just keep making units to deny this third, and then the double Stargate becomes an all-in, essentially.
Yeah, but if he does that, if he keeps making units right now, then he's always going to have 40 drones, and how good is that?
No, you're right. So the drone count, you're right. And that's because of the 10 drone loss. So I think that's where I guess this is a lot better than it could have been. But double Stargate like this, to me, there's so many Zergs who are just like, well, I just had 7 queens anyways. And then you're like, oh, well, that's good for you. And because those queens are such good, like, middle ground for Zerg, I feel like. They help the economy, but they also do staunch defense, and they're a good transition point, too.
What I just like about it, though, is that it's A, it's very safe against roaches, and B, you already did economic damage, and these Phoenixes, they will still do damage.
You're right.
They will still force out Spore Crawlers.
Absolutely.
They will slow the Zerg down even further. And I think Bills is happy as long as he can get a 3-base economy up and running, and obviously he's going to have a lot of map presence with these Phoenixes flying around. Double Robo as well, like he's getting double Stargate and double Robo, but I guess he has the money for it. So far, this has been a pretty smooth game for Bills.
But this is where the Zerg player then watches this replay and goes, you son of a... like, double Robo off of double Stargate while taking a third. I believe he has 1 gateway. He's greedy.
If I was Elroye, I wouldn't make a single Spore anyway. I would just make mass units right now and just try to shove it in. Like, you're going to lose a couple of drones anyway, and these Phoenix is going to run out of energy. don't spend any more drones on Spore Crawlers, just make mass Hydralisk, run across this relatively quote-unquote small map.
It is.
And just go for it.
And I think he's gonna buy into your story here, but actually, well, I was
More
about to say
drones
bailing out of there, and I did not mean to do that. But, this is a weird time for our Bales, though. He has an okay force. I do like him creeping the pylons towards that ramp so he can photon overcharge that choke point. That's a really good defensible position. I'm loving Bale's follow-up to this. Like, he is playing very greedy, but that's a lot of Protoss. A lot of Protoss is cutting corners and trying to get away with stuff, and he's so far doing it really well.
Yeah, I mean, the sentries will disallow Elroye from making any attack via the middle of the map. So if he wanted to attack, he had to go via the north side and break down those rocks.
Yeah.
But I guess he just felt that would take way too long. So instead, he's going to go up to Lurkers. But this is going to give Bills all the time in the world and all the time that he possibly needs to get 5, 6 Immortals out. Phoenixes will still do work. And then eventually, we're going to get a couple of Disruptors as well. I assume so, because why not? And obviously, we're going to see a couple of Archons. And, I don't really like this for Elroye. I think it's a lot better for Bills.
It's a really good spot for the Protoss player, too. And what a lot of Protoss have been doing as well is obviously there is going to come a stage where the Phoenix kind of lose their ability to harass the mineral lines super efficiently. But what then they do off that double robo is they're able to pick up the Lurkers and really thin the damage output of the Zerg army. And all of a sudden, those 7 or 8 Immortals with their beefy shields are walking right through the Zerg army. And that's been something we've seen like Huck do at WCS Katowice. It's a very prominent Protoss strategy right now.
I just feel that Bills has lost almost nothing in this game and has killed quite a bit. I mean, I don't know what the unit lost resource is, but I can only imagine it's quite a bit in favor of Bills.
Yeah.
Because, like, what did Bills lose this game? 5 Adepts and 1 Phoenix, I believe. And the
1 or
amount
2
of,
Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah, and the amount of drones that he has killed, the amount of Queens,
that Queen's just sitting there like, come and get me too when you got the time. Thank you.
I've had enough. The Queen tried to jump off the cliff but didn't have the energy to do it. The Phoenix is like, all right, we'll help.
We have the energy, I guess. And this is going really well for Bells, as you were saying. And the other thing to kind of point out here, too, is the Phoenix are getting intel. They see a Hydra composition. If they haven't seen the Lurkers, that is the natural progression from here. And Bale's composition is just geared up for us.
Whoa, all the Phoenixes are trapped. That's actually kind of...
yeah, it's bad.
Whoa.
He's trapped here. It's good. Nicely done for Elroye, although he's giving him an out here. But Bale seems to have he's like, you guys are dead to me as it is anyways.
Yeah, I guess he's happy with what the Phoenixes achieved in this game. And they prevented a quick Muda switch, so...
Yeah. And they actually do get out here as well. So swinging to the left side of the map, that 4th base has been spotted. We have Bales kind of working his way here. I do not believe we have an immediate location for warp-ins. That's kind of a point of concern. Usually you want to have a warp prism or a pylon in the vicinity. He doesn't have either, I think.
I think he agrees with you. That's why he's bringing the Mothership Core. Because he's kind of worried about, like, all right, I don't want to take this fight for too long. Let's just kill this 4th base and get the hell out of here. Like, I don't need to win the game over here. Let's just snipe this 4th base and recall. So, well done, Bills. Well.
Great move. And he's able, I mean, anytime you're able to kill a base for free, especially it being the 4th base, which is such a pivotal base for the Zerg, and now losing some roaches essentially for free. Not looking good for Elroye. So Kevin, how does Elroye claw his way back into this? I mean, what do you do if you're
I think the only thing you can do is just make a whole bunch of Lurkers and then somehow try to bait the Protoss into taking a terrible engagement. And that's exactly what he's doing over here.
You guys have the same mind, man.
Yeah, I mean, but that makes sense, right? This is his only option. Like, some people may be tuning in this game, it's like, wow, it's really close, 187, 179. Why aren't they hyping this up? Because it's not close. Bills is absolutely in control of this game. But I do like the massive commitment to Lurkers. If he's ever going to win, it's because of all these Lurkers.
Yep, and there is that pickup and the weighty Protoss army in the background. Not even necessarily taking the best angle at this, but it just doesn't matter.
Wow, this is a bad fight, I think, for Bills, man. He's starting to lose quite a bit. I don't know how many Lurkers... Look at these Immortals, they're pretty damn low in HP.
Yeah, but if they can pull back and the shield just regenerates, it almost doesn't matter. Good disengage there, as you pointed out, because he was losing the buffer units. The Zealots did run forward and, of course, died. And not the worst fight for Elroye. It's not like he lost all the Lurkers. I feel like whoever was, like, if the Zerg decisively won that fight, really bad for Bales off the reload for the Zerg, excuse me. But both players were kind of smartly aware of the fact that they were at that tilting point.
That's kind of interesting. He's going to switch into Mutalisk despite the fact that he lost his 4th base, so he can't obviously make that massive transition.
And look at
Bills
that upgrade.
is already getting Phoenix range.
That's not typical. A lot of Protoss would go Carrier or Tempest here. They'd be like, okay, you saw my Phoenix. You're not gonna come back with me. So Elroye is looking for some kind of weird strategy here, but he has to. He's behind.
There is 0 anti-air in this army. But well,
there's a sentry, Kevin.
sorry,
back off, bro. All right, he's been working out. He's been trying his stuff. Mutas are spotted, though.
Just go back right now. Like, go back immediately. Oh, he's got 3 Archons. Okay.
They're decent. They'll get the job done if they need to.
Well, 12 mil is probably not. If he gets 15 Mutalisk, I actually think that's enough to kill 3 Archons. Then he can start working on the rest.
It's a bad fight, though. If he warps
well.
in any stalkers or something like that, it turns south real quick.
Doesn't
But
really-
another base dies for free.
doesn't have a way to reinforce it. This is a little bit. If I was Elroye right now, I'd jump on this, use everything you have, and just force the fight. Like, you're not going to win a base trade. No, that's never going to work. I think that was a missed opportunity. He was in a very dicey spot, but if he jumps on top of that army, brings the Hydras, Lings, Lurkers, Broodlings for all that matters, and then kills the Archons, then maybe
Sure.
the Mutalisk can clean up the rest.
That would be his best shot. I think what we agree on is that he's in a position where he's got to try something crazy. Zerg doesn't want to take that fight per se, but in this situation, maybe they do. And a couple of Immortals do get picked off here.
Triple Stargate, by the way, for Bill. So even though Bill's is going to lose 1 or 2 Immortals here in the middle of the map, he's building 3 Phoenixes at a time that will have Phoenix range. And just the other day, I decided to play a game as Zerg against Vibes Protoss.
How'd that go?
It went well until he had Phoenix range, and then all my Mutalisks died, like all of them. It's just that upgrade. You know, before that upgrade, Phoenixes are already very good against Mutalisks. If you've got Phoenix range, well, anybody can kill crazy amount of Mutalisks. You don't even need a high Phoenix count. 4 or 5 is more than enough. These Phoenixes, that's more than enough to kill all these Mutalisks.
They'll chase him down if he wants to remain committed to this.
And there's nothing that Elroye can do over here. He's going to turn around, he's going to try to pull some tricks. Finds a Prism, it's something, but...
Yeah. Mutas were, I mean, again, to give credit here to what Elroye was thinking, there's going to be a lot of people just kind of going like, that seems like a really dumb choice. But he had to try something different. Like, just making more Hydra and Lurkers was feeding into the army composition that was engineered to kill that. So maybe, you know, like we saw, there was 1 Sentry and 3 Archons at one point in time. If he did clamp down on that, he could kill the Protoss army. And if a Protoss loses his entire army, a lot of times they lose the game immediately after.
I must say, I do think that Bills is playing this maybe a tiny bit too passive. He's maxed out right now. I'd love to see a little bit more activity and like to see him really hurt Elroye, because Elroye is taking like bases again. He has his fort base. I mean, these Mutalisks should really be chased down, like all of them right now. I don't know what the Phoenix gun is. That's more than enough. Just right-click on it and never let them go. Bill should not let these Mutas go. Just pick them all off. And these Phoenixes should be, you know, more than capable. This is kind of sloppy though by Bills.
He's over here, I guess, just making sure he doesn't lose the army. But I do agree with you. Those Mutas should never get out of there. Elroye has fought a valiant fight, by the way. They're both maxed out. He's got I mean, this is not an A-move situation, by the way, for Bales. That is a lot of Lurkers. He needs the Phoenix to pick them up, perhaps. And even then, there are still Hydras here.
And let's not forget, the Hydra count is not super high though, so if he has like 15 Phoenixes with +1, that's actually pretty damn good. Now there are 12 more Hydralisks on the way. It's just kind of throwing those Mutalisk away. I like that choice by
Get more
Elroye.
supply.
Yeah, Elroye is actually doing a pretty decent job in clawing his way back into this game. Like, I think a lot of people look at this game, is like, okay, this guy is super dead, but he's actually dragging it out. And he has a little bit of money in the bank as well. Let's not forget about that one. He's got 2,000 minerals, 800 gas.
He is not that far behind, to be honest with you. He's and the expansion has been able to get up and going here.
I don't like him fighting right now though. Like, spend that money and then fight. Why would you fight with 184 if you can fight maxed out?
All right, well, we're going to have to see it put to the test here, Kevin. They're going to go to Battle of Phoenix. They're trying to pick up what they can. A huge line of Immortals, but the buffer units are gone.
He actually has more supply right now. I mean, he did just spend all of his
Hydras
money.
against naked Immortals here. Not a good fight for the Protoss.
Wow. Elroye actually fighting his way back into this game and now being in a pretty damn sweet spot, because a lot of these Immortals are starting to run very low on HP. He did lose 10 drones to a couple of Zealots, I believe, in the left bottom side of this map. But that doesn't matter. Bills needs to get something to protect these Immortals. He needs an answer to the Hydralisk. I would love to see him just build more Phoenixes now.
12
like,
drones dying in the background, by the way. Lower left, we do have some damage being done economically. A Dark Templar cleaving through there. At the same token here, we do have to say, I mean, if Elroye loses his army, he could be in a lot of trouble. So he still has to be very careful about how he fights this. But he's just destroying that base too now.
Yep, he should maybe try to pick off a Lurker over there, man. Every unit counts right now. This game is getting ridiculously close. It really felt that Bills was in a driver's seat, but Elroye doing a phenomenal job in just hanging in there. Now making 13 more Hydralisks. I actually think that Elroye is just going to win this game here. Like, I don't see what Bills can do anymore.
He might. Bales is down to 1 mining base. There's only so much space he can give up at this point in time. He might have decided to fight right here. He's going to jump in on it, but he doesn't have anything really to support these Immortals. They're doing what they can. Here come the Phoenix trying to pick up what they can, but the Hydra is targeting down the Phoenix. The count's getting a little bit low, but it looks like the Zerg is the Zerg is going to come out on top decisively there, and there go everything Protoss.
I would have loved to see these Phoenixes just kill the Overseers there, maybe warp in a couple of defensive Dark Templars, but Elroye, wow, with a pretty stunning Game 1 victory on Frozen Temple. Jeff, I thought that game was super over. It just really felt that everything was going Bills his way. Elroye is probably like pretty surprised there. Like, I won that game. Like, that's pretty crazy that I just won that, guy.
You know, Kevin, you're a pretty smart StarCraft guy, and I feel like there was that moment in time where you said it, and I think that was kind of the turning point where you're like, I think he's playing too passive here.
Yeah.
He had 4 solid bases. He had picked off the 3rd for free. He took a minor engagement, but no real losses. But that Elroye double expanded, had an army still intact, and he never just flat out lost the mutas. I feel like if he makes 20 mutas and is just like, oh, you have range in Phoenix and you hunt me down, that sucks. But he was always able to trade the mutas for certainly not equitable change, but in a late game stage like that, good enough. He killed 15, 20 probes or something.
Also because he bought himself more time, and that's all that matters. And even when he lost all these mutas, like, cool, well, let's remax on the Hydralisk. He was actually even in upgrades as well for such a long game, and for how long Bills was in control of that game. Just having +2 attack on those Protoss units is not, you know, that's not terrifying. Like, often you see like 3-1-1 or something, you know, on the Archons and Immortals.
And here's that kind of mini-ish engagement where it could have been really bad for either player.
I think it's very bad to fly in with your Phoenixes from the right side because they just eat all those Hydra shots for free. Phoenixes can actually be very, very useful in an engagement like that if you've got a couple of Zealots on the ground as well, buffering. But I do not like bringing the Phoenixes in before anything else there. And I also don't like the mass lift. I think Phoenixes are a lot more effective in battles like that if you lift 2-3 Phoenixes at a time, 2-3, because then the remaining Phoenixes kill those Phoenixes. But if you lift everything, like, yeah, sure, it's not doing anything, but neither are your units, really. And if they then all get dropped, those Hydralisks will still put out quite a bit of damage. So I think lifting a couple at a time is way better than doing the mass lift.
And that's what's so interesting about Phoenixes, because they're actually pretty difficult to use. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but like if your army is geared to have a bunch of chargelets jumping underneath and you can pick up the lurkers, then I do think you do a mass pickup, because you don't want any lurker AoE damage going into those zealots. But
he wasn't
in
lurkers
that situation.
there.
Correct.
Yeah.
He just had immortals. So when he picks up everything, the immortals have decent damage output in range, but not rate of fire. So they're just kind of sitting back, and then the Phoenix are dropping those guys, and they're taking damage from the Hydras. So.
And I mean, like, lifting Lurkers or Hydras is kind of like 2 different worlds, because Hydras are light armored, and they die very quickly. Lurkers are armored, and it takes quite a while for Phoenixes. Like, yeah, you can definitely kill them, but just lifting as many as possible is often the better choice. With Hydras, however, like, why lift them if you can lift and kill them, you know? So it's kind of a... You know, it's interesting, and it makes it a fun unit. Makes it a very fun unit, personally, in my opinion, to use.
Oh, yeah. Interesting gut check moment here for Bales. I mean, we were talking about this, like, these are these opportunities. He was, as far as we were concerned, and maybe wrongfully so, the more well-named player, the well-known player. He was, I think everyone will probably agree, except for, of course, that super mega hipster that knew all along that, of course, Elroye was going to win that game, that was a game Bales probably should have locked down. A little bit of DT harass, get the ball of army going, and just put down the Zerg. But he just kind of let him hang in there, and to Elroy's credit, he played a good game plan as well.
Excellent.
He did not overextend. He was able to back up. I mean, there's a point in time where you were kind of talking about it. If he makes all units right now, maybe that's scary, but then he's stuck on 40 drones. He made the right choice, played defensively, but then knew when to strike. So really nice mechanics and gameplay and decision-making from Elroye. And let's put this out there, too. That was one of the better maps for PvZ as well. So now, Bales, I don't know what the rest of the map pool entails. We're going to see here. Ooh, and that's there you go. That's not a good one.
There's a reason why Jeff says, ooh, because of course this is one of these maps with a lot of gold bases, and that often benefits Zergs just a little bit more than it does the other races. But we'll see how this man handles it. He is representing Flipside. Give it up for your North American hero, Bills. Maybe just he had to warm up a little bit, Jeff. We know he can do better than that.
He played well, just didn't seal the deal. All right, and his opponent, coming out of Switzerland, making the long trip to the fine, fine place of Austin, leading 1-0, it is Elroye. Do you think he got his haircut specifically to wear a hood with it?
I don't know.
Do you think that's what he did?
I have absolutely no answer.
Because it looks stunning. It looks absolutely fabulous.
And no probe scout so far by Bills, even though he is going for pylon. Oh no, he is probe scouting, okay, but he's going to see that there is no gold base taken there yet. He's going to see that there will be an extractor though, and most likely a spawning pool behind it. No, the drone. I don't think he can block anymore. It's close. It's a race. Can he block it? No, he's not going to be able to block it. Yeah, he will. So sick. Okay, that would have been very rough.
Elky.
If he doesn't block that, actually it's super rough. If you probe scout and you can get a single block off, I hate that as Protoss.
Yeah, he'll do it. It's just kind of a, guys, the reason this map is so rough is like the other expansion that a Zerg player already took is a gold base.
Yeah, I know.
So he'll eventually get around to taking this gold base as well. And now you have a 2 gold base expansion Zerg player. And it's like, well, can't the Protoss do it? Kinda. We don't really have the ability to mega 3 base, like have 3 bases. You will have a gold base at your natural, which is great, but you're facing a Zerg that already obliterates that economy with another gold base of their own. It's very savage. So you have to change the way you play. We'll see a lot of 2-base timing attacks, but even that's rough because a lot of times what you face from the Zerg is just sheer volume of Roach Ling, just a lot of bodies coming out of these bases.
And you know, Jeff, I want to ask you something. Throughout the history of PvZ, I always feel that the most important thing for the Protoss has been like be unpredictable, make sure that you're not too predictable. Now, obviously, the exception to that rule was Drogo and Lilbo towards the end of Heart of the Swarm.
Rain, I would say.
Yeah, and it was just like, guys, this is what I'm doing. Good luck with it. Good luck trying to beat my Blinkstalker Sentry. But I feel in Legacy of the Void, this is coming back a little bit again. As a Protoss, it is important to be unpredictable. Don't do the same build over and over again. But I do feel that the build that Bills used in the last game is kind of like a standard go-to build these days, right? Like get a couple of adepts with the adept upgrade, try to kill as many drones as possible. If you don't win with a build like that, do you think that makes you uncomfortable, or do you think it's not the biggest deal as of yet?
Oh, wow. Oh, I did that. You guys can't see it off camera, but I almost took down the entire set with a kick of my foot. You'll just have to count on it for being funny. Thank you, Kevin, for fixing that. But to answer your question, yes and no, I feel. I feel like there's a few more standard openings from Protoss. Like the double Stargate follow-up to that opening is the standard follow-up to that opening, but also a standard opening is just opening Stargate as well. So that's kind of your 2 cookie cutter, I'm going to do this all the time type of things. And then you mix in, and this is where I certainly agree with you, the unpredictable stuff. And it is hard because in a lot of the maps in this map pool, by the way, are small main base maps. Like it's actually very hard to hide your tech. And as we can see here, this Overlord had no intention of scouting top right, but just absolutely sees all of it basically. And I don't think he's on Twilight Council, but he can probably infer it.
Overlord speed is becoming more and more popular as well these days for Zerg players.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, it's such a good upgrade. Like if you don't know what your opponent is doing and you play Zerg, get Overlord speed, guys, because you will know what he's doing. Everything will make perfect sense to you. And like I'm starting to get a tiny bit worried for Bills already because this has been scouted out. The Roach Warren is down. This is a map where, you already said it, Jeff, Zerg has a ridiculous amount of money because of the 2 gold bases. So even if you force out 10, 12 Roaches, that doesn't really hurt the Zerg all that much. These adepts, they need to do something. If they don't do anything, Bills is in a little bit of trouble, man.
A lot of trouble. I mean, so one of the big differences, too, between these 2 maps is on Frozen Temple, you at least have the ability to kind of hold a ramp leading up into the 3rd. There's other entry points to it, but that's a good choke, like a good choke point. On this map, you have to go down into low ground and then back up into another high ground, or stay on the low ground and not have a gold base. But basically what I'm getting at is your 3rd base option is really, really poor, and it's just much more rough here.
There is no vision on the right side of this map for Elroye, so these adapts will sort of come as a surprise, but look at the production tab. It's nothing but units, and it has been nothing but units for a little while. So I think Bill should be able to get 6, 7, 8 drones over here, but he will not get more than that.
I don't know.
I
don't know if he'll get that much even.
I think if he focus fires correctly and uses the shade, he should be able to get 6 or 7.
He's got 5 so far. He's going to try to go away.
Cancel.
Yep. So he will get those kills, and you're right, and that's good. It's a good start, but I think he's going to lose every single one of these adepts.
Yep. Yeah,
he gets 9 kills, so last time we praised him for 10, and honestly, this is similar, but I think, guys, where you hear our doubt is these are gold bases, and that is a huge difference. Like, it's like, oh, no, I lost 10 drones. Well, I'll make 10 more, and then, boop, my economy is now 3 times his.
If I was Elroye, I would stop making units right now, though. Like, it's good to prevent a 3rd base, and he will absolutely prevent it. I mean, he's going to shut this down. He's actually running across. Is he still on hatchery tech? Is this, like, what True likes to do? Yeah, he's still on hatchery tech. This is ridiculous. You need a dodge shrine against this, or it's almost unholdable. Yeah. I've seen True do this 4 times in a row against Billy, and I felt for him, man. This is so incredibly tough to deal with, because all of these Protoss units are actually really bad against the macro support unit, the Queen.
And he's going to go here and see a gigantic army, and he's going to make the hard choice of like, okay, I guess I'm going to try to defend my 3rd, but there's Lings in the back. There are Ravagers and Roach to the front. This is an unholdable position, ladies and gentlemen. He's used up basically all of his force field energy as is. The Guardian Shield's going up ineffectually.
He has no more fast warpins anymore either, though, because that was the only pylon that was connected to the Nexus. Most of the links have gone down. I mean,
it's going to be nothing but links behind this.
Yeah, Fulton Overcharge has done an absolutely amazing job, and the force fields are really good so far by Bills, though. He's bringing in a Prism. I think that's very smart. Is he sort of doing it, Jeff, or you don't believe in it?
I still don't have faith, but I'm part of what they pay me to do is come up here and be wrong and make it more dramatic. Here come the links, though, and the Immortals have good damage output against everything except for these guys. A good angle here, so he's going to be able to do what he can.
He needs to pick it up. He really needs to pick up the Immortals. You cannot afford to lose both Immortals. Both of them will, well, one of them gets picked up.
But he loses the third. He loses all the gas units. He's going to bring out Adepts to try and defend this, but he can't. No. And honestly, I think the only choice he could have ever made was, oh God, your army's here. I'm gonna defend my natural. And like you said, maybe a Dark Shrine behind this, maybe some fast Immortal drops, something off that hatch tech, but this was just way too much.
There is a new Mothership Core that's going to drop a Photon Overcharge over here. Bills is doing a pretty damn good job, though, in keeping a lot of units alive. And I mean, he's up 8 workers, so as long as he does not die, just keep the Immortals alive. So he's playing with fire, literally.
Literally.
But
he's literally playing with fire.
I mean, he's doing a pretty damn good job in avoiding most of those corrosive bows. And even though Elroye denied the third base, Elroye wants more. He wants to finish the game here.
So
and I don't think he's doing
here's
that.
where Elroye could overextend. If he just makes nothing but links and tries to cram up this ramp, not going to happen.
If you're Bills right now, just avoid third base completely and run across the map. Try to win with Immortals and Adepts.
That's what he's going to do. And these poor queens. No chance, ladies. You were not made to be sprinters.
Wow, that was a great hold by Bills, by the way. And there is a Spire on the production tab right now, so the best thing that Bills can do is just go across the map, apply some pressure.
Well, with that Spire, he has to.
Yep, test the waters, and if you see no units, well, then it's probably a Spire, or he's trying to get a crazy amount of Hydras out, but just go for it. Elroye, meanwhile, is going to try to buy time with a run by, and that's going to work, because there's no more pylon here.
Yeah,
there used to be a pylon.
And this is actually going to really, really hurt Bales. If he still had a wall-in of sorts, that link counterattack could be the end of Elroye. But without the wall-in, this could be actually what gets him way ahead in the game. And here comes Bales.
Yeah, Bales has no time to waste. He's just got to go for it, man. He's going to drop a couple of force fields. He should be able to kill all these drones. There are 1 or 2 roaches in the mix, but Adepts are phenomenal against drones. Has to be do not lose the Prism. He really can't lose the Prism.
It's getting targeted.
Yeah, he's going to lose it.
He's going to... Oh, he kills the Queen. The Queen jumps back.
There's one more Queen. There's one more Queen on the ramp.
Doesn't get the whack! He finally dies. But the damage might be done, Kevin. The drones were pulled. They're dead. 12 probes.
But if 12 Mutalisk pop at once and kill... If 12 Mutas pop at once and kill this Mothership Core, I think the Mutalisk will kill everything.
Does he have... Yeah. There it is. It's going to be 12 meters on the dot. They're going to get up this ramp. They got to do such... I mean, they probably have to kill the lair.
No, you got to jump on the core. If you're Elroye right now, you cannot focus anything else. You got to go for that Mothership Core immediately because you need to kill this army. If you don't kill the army, it's too late. And Bills needs to recall out as soon as he starts losing this Mothership Core. Getting the spy, this is awesome by Bills. Just kill the pool.
Get the spawning pool.
Get out of here. Get out of here. No. No.
He won't.
Oh my god. He's staying?
The Adepts will, though, bro. They're out of here. They're like, peace. We're shading out.
I don't know about this choice, man. I mean,
I don't know. The Immortals don't have much in the way of a game after this, and they killed the lair. They killed the spawning pool.
He was already getting the pool. It's basically he just lost all these units for a lair.
The lair.
You think that's worth it?
I don't know. It's close. He is taking a third behind this, by the way. If he can hold, I mean, the whole game becomes about that third. He needs to bring the motion core over there. Like, the naturals mine out. That is the thing about gold bases. They mine out super fast.
I mean, the most important thing is that he killed the Spire and the layer. So I actually kind of forgot about that. I was like, why is the layer so important? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. He can't rebuild the layer. Yeah, okay.
Do it! No, and actually losing the motion core is good because he can remake another one and it has the energy. Well, this is looking good for Bales, actually.
I mean, the only annoying thing is that Bales is going to have to defend against Mutalisk without the Adept Stalkers. Like, that's horrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, even if he ends up losing a couple of probes here and there, well, pretty sick job by Elroye over here. He's taking notes from Jaedong in his prime and wrestling with 2 groups of Mutalisk. That's pretty sick.
Everyone took notes from Jaedong, Kevin. Just needs to hold that third, but what Elroye can't do is lose Mutas, by the way, because they are a finite resource at this point in time.
So what do you do if you're Elroye? Do you re-go for Leia? Do we drop a Roach Warren?
I say GG, nerd. Protoss overpowered, and I get out of the game. Obviously. Blink's about to finish. That's going to be kind of the lights out on this. Whoa! Artosis Pylon! He's going to go for it. He won't get it, though. Oh, he will.
Well, the Stalkers can't really...
It's on the wrong side. And look at the pylon out of Bales, by the way. That has to be the worst in-control pylon ever. There he goes. He's going to try that. That one's closer and better.
I mean, Elroye has money, but okay, he's making a couple of roaches now. If he starts spreading creep like a madman and then gets a fight against Blink Stalkers with roaches on creep, that's not too bad.
Kevin.
I just...
He's super dead, bro.
I've lost worse games as Protoss, mate.
I know, but you know, it's not even... Like, if Bales gets this advantage and then loses from here, I just start to cry.
But it's a little more tricky if you're in this game, though, Jeff. You know it as a player as well. Sometimes you watch a replay and you feel like, wow, this game was so close. And you watch the replay and you're like, lol, I was up 40 supply and 28 workers. Like, this is ridiculous. How did I struggle so much? If you're Bills right now, this is still a relatively scary game because you have no idea how rich your opponent is. How many...
some idea.
Yeah, he has some idea because of the adapts, but it's still scary, though.
Well,
it's
you know what's
kind of
interesting?
scary.
Gold bases throw the numbers out the window for most players because there are only a few maps that have gold bases, and certainly only this one that has this many.
So how do you feel about this, splitting up your army, sending a couple of Blink Stalks across the map and leaving a couple
It's pretty risky.
at home?
I don't think I would do it 0-1 against this guy, but it ends up being the right call here.
Yeah, because
the mutas are not strong enough. These roaches probably don't even have roach speed, actually.
But with the 24 links, though, like the links can get the wraparound. If Bills ends up losing all these Stalkers and doesn't get too much done, that would be really bad.
I think he's okay.
Okay.
I like that you tried to get that exciting, though. I appreciate that. And meanwhile...
Yeah, okay. I think right now Bills is really had it. In the last few minutes, he played super solid.
He did. Solid Bales, man. I would have Dark Shrine like 50 minutes ago, though, is what I absolutely would have done.
Every game.
You kill the
Dark
lair,
Shrine.
you have a Dark Shrine, bro. It's like it's what you do. And it's like, okay, if you're not going to layer back up or make spore crawlers, you're actually just easily dead.
I must say, Elroye has done a pretty decent job at keeping most of his Mutalisk alive as well. He's been getting quite some work done. He's still getting a couple of probes here and there, but army supply 73 right now against 51. It's a lot of Blink Stalkers. I guess this will absolutely be the end.
That should be the end right there. They're going to push forward into the non-existent base, unfortunately. But they are fighting army, and I do believe Elroye is going to get the message here in a second. He's making a bunch of Zerglings. He's going to fight for it. Why not? He came back last game and won in convincing fashion, but this time, Protoss lasers perhaps too strong.
Yep, I like that Bills is bringing a couple of adepts as well, just to help out a little bit against all these potential Zerglings. Bill's actually losing quite a few stocks there, not blinking in time, but he was able to make a small micro mistake
be that
like
guy,
that.
Kevin?
No, not at all.
Losing units, is he? No, something to criticize, I guess.
Well, I mean, starting to look a tiny bit scary.
I don't like that he lost anything here at all. He's
theory,
winning
Jeff.
by like 100 supplies.
I know.
He's going to murder this, and then the 8 mutas show up from before. They're going to get targeted down. Elroye, we're going to game 3, brother man.
Very fun
All
series
out.
between these two players,
It has
man.
been
A
fun.
lot closer than I expected it to be, Jeff.
Absolutely, and he's got a little bit of a fun little cadre of people to come over there. I recognize Penguin from Home Story Cup fame. Not sure who the other guy there is, but that's, of course, because we're hugely biased North American commentators and we don't understand or respect the European scene. That was sarcasm, guys. I love all of them.
No, interesting game, and I really wonder how he feels about the game. Does he feel like he threw it because he killed all those units at the turret base? He actually took down or denied the turret, killed those pilots as well, killed the mothership core. Did he overstep his boundaries by actually trying to end the game there? Or was he forced to overstep his boundaries because he was only on 32 drones? It's an interesting scenario, but obviously it's very hard on Prime Terraces to push up that small ramp in the natural. Like, attacking the turret base of Protoss, that's not very difficult because it doesn't matter where they take him. It's always a wide open area. However, attacking up the ramp into the natural, that's where things become a lot more complicated.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because usually when a Protoss defends a base and loses the base but also loses the army, they lose the game.
Yep.
But I feel like what Bales did, and we can see it in a different way displayed here, he got every single inch of value out of every single one of his units. Lost the Immortals? Sure, but he force fielded them off, took a small angle, and they killed a dozen Zerglings for the life of the 2 Immortals. Like, Bales is a very good micromanagement player here. This fight, a good example of that. Force fields off, the ramp gets in there, the drones are pulled immediately, and that's already economic damage on a Zerg that doesn't have that many drones to begin with. And even that the Warp Prism, we were like, oh no, it's about to die. He moves it off. It does end up dying, but it dies at the cost of like 3 different units trying to sacrifice themselves to get at it.
Yep, 3 queens overextending and all getting picked off. Like, yeah, in the end, they did pick it off. And then letting the mothership core die, but at the same time killing the layer and killing the spire to make sure that it would forever stay, or at least for the longest time, at those 13 Mutalisks. Now, 13 Mutalisks is a very annoying number to deal with, but that's not enough to fight 5 Stalkers and a Photon Overcharge. 20 or so Mutalisks, that's where it becomes an absolute nightmare for Protoss. So maybe it was worth it in the end to lose all those Immortals and lose all those other units by just preventing another Spire from going down.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, it was kind of funny because we were both a little bit on the edge of is that worth it or is it not, but in the end, with his army composition based off of a robo, no access to a Stargate at that point in time, especially with his kind of bedraggled economy, that ended up being the decisive choice. Like you said, if there was more mutas out there, he would have lost. Bales, loving it. Big smile on his face, and why not? He is in the finals of the Archon tournament, you guys were saying. He's going to be playing for a lot of money over there as well. And he just brought back this game. I mean, one of the hardest things to do, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never done this before, is be on a stage playing a competitive match or in a field, have an advantage, and there's a voice in your head that's like, hey, dude, you did it. Nice job. And you're entertaining the voice. You're like, hey, man, chill. Okay, I got a couple more battles here, but I feel good. And then you end up losing the game. That voice goes, you're an idiot. You stupid fool. And it's really hard to come back from that, but Bales,
this is ridiculous, but back in my days when I was playing a lot of Warcraft 3 competitively, I would have conversations with myself while the game is still going on. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to say what all the people have been writing about me. I did such a good job. Like, I'm sure they're going to say this and this and this. And like, I pictured this entire conversation on like, back then no Reddit, but like WC replays or whatever. It's like, man, everybody's going to be so proud of me. And then like suddenly back to reality, it's like, I'm actually losing this game. Like, what is wrong with me? What a big missed opportunity.
It's gut-wrenching, man. It's really tough. And everyone talks about how hard StarCraft is, but one of the biggest things that makes it so hard is the mental part of the game. Playing in front of people, playing for something is at the exact same time the best part of the game and at many points the most painful and difficult part of the game. And I feel like I'm an expert on one of the two sides of that. Had a lot of experience in my life of being on a stage, and then I'm facing like, who's that guy? Oh, it's Boxer? Sure, I got this. Nope. It was really rough. But these guys playing into game number 3. Here we go.
Oh, and it's going to be on the Arena, everybody's favorite crazy map these days. Over here on the left bottom side, we're looking at the main base of the man that's representing Flipside and Kansas as well. It is Bills. Made it all the way to the finals of the TESPA Collegiate Archon Series, repping Kansas State University.
What are they? Do you know their mascot? I can picture it. It's a bird.
No. I know what you're saying, but I don't know it.
All I care about is
Somebody is shouting at us right now on Twitter.
It's fine. It's fine. We can't read it till afterwards. Then our feelings will be hurt. His opponent, losing game number 2, but bringing it back in game number 1. The blue Zerg from D-Pix, it's Elroye. So suave, so handsome.
I'm kind of happy to see that they are playing Arena, because I feel the last 2 games, like PvZ, it's kind of obvious how they both want to play. However, Arena is completely different. Bills is going to scout out here and sees, all right, it's spawning pool first, you've got an extractor as well. You cannot just assume they will actually use that extractor, that they will actually mine gas. Sometimes as a Protoss, you overreact defensively, and then suddenly it's like, well, wait a minute, he's got way more workers than I do.
I need to give Bales a lesson in how to really frustrate a Zerg. In that situation, you drop the pylon at the natural and follow him to the 3rd and go, bruh, I'll drop one there too. I don't need an economy. I just need you to not have an economy.
And you know what the best thing ever is, Jeff? Then when the Lings are finally out and they start working on the pylon, you natural.
Drop a gateway.
Cybernetic score, more HP.
Is it really?
Yeah, 550.
Okay, see? Kevin just taught me how to annoy a Zerg even better. Both of us do play on that North American ladder. Where if we can't out-micro you, we're going to out-frustrate you. Had more than a few mean words tossed in my direction. Probe is going to get out of there with sufficient information. And, you know, to be fair, Kevin, so far it's lining up as per usual. We saw this kind of forward gateway out of Bales. Going to buy himself with a little bit of time with that cheeky pylon there, to quote the famed Heroes commentator, Colaris. And, yeah, so Bales wants... Also denying information worth noting, by the way. You had brought up that those 2 Zerglings scouted out a Twilight Council earlier on, and that was kind of devastating. But at this point in time, going to be harder to get that information.
Look at that Roach Wine. That's a very, very, very early Roach Wine. And I can't imagine that this is a safety Roach Wine. Like, if he wants to send his first few adepts across the map, you can deal with that with just Zerglings and Queens, actually. As long as they don't have the upgrade, they are not that intimidating. So I have the feeling that Elroye wants to get very cheeky over here, Jeff. You put the word in my mind, and it's going to keep on
If it goes
going.
around this weekend, I will.
Yeah, it's going to be a cheeky weekend. I can already
No,
feel
don't do that. It'd be so sad. He has no drones of that natural, and he is... Let's see what this next volley... It's Roaches, so this is about as all in as you get.
He's going to make a couple of Ravages as well, probably bring over an Overlord to drop corrosive vials on that pylon. And this is a rough hold, man. Like, you need multiple pylons protecting your gateways. Maybe like a Void Ray can help if you go for a Stargate. Otherwise, just get Stalkers out, because you need to have something that can actually poke away at those Roaches. It's a very, very difficult hold, and it all comes down to the pylons. I do love that pylon. This is scary,
and the Mothership
by the
Core
way.
Scout. But the second it sees that Queen, by the way, he knows exactly what he's facing. He does have good pylons in place. The Sentry is going to be key.
I would love to see Chrono Boost on maybe Warp Gate technology as well. Just try to get that done as quick as possible.
He's gonna opt for units here. And everything has to be very careful. If he's overeager with the Photon Overcharge, that's it. He does do the pylon that was taking some damage, but you know what? He's targeting the Queen. It's the only anti-air here. And a Ravager is a really inadequate form of anti-air, by the way. It has a tough time nailing down a Queen.
And then again, Mothership Core has almost no damage, though.
Yeah, but to a Ravager, it's actually okay. Like, Ravagers don't have that much health.
All right, he's going to go for that pylon after it was already weakened a little bit. Good forceful there, and good Photon Overcharge on the other pylon, but Elroye's going to go for it immediately and doesn't actually push out that much damage.
Oh, and Warp Gate's about to finish. He's getting inside the base here a little bit. Zerglings are bottlenecked at the bottom half of the map. Meanwhile, the Roaches, which are kind of the big damage dealers, are dying.
There's no units left over here for Bills, man. He just has his Mothership Core. One Stalker does pop. Warp Gate is going to be done, though, and there's still one more pylon powering these Warp Gates.
I don't know.
He's going to warp in a couple of Zealots. No, Adepts it is, and one Stalker. It's very close, but I think Bills is holding.
Bales has got it, and he actually has more probes by quite a bit here, by the way.
Yeah, he's still going to lose quite a few, though, Jeff. And one of those Adepts actually gets a wraparound. Well done there by Elroye. Do we have another Photon Overcharge? No, we don't. Not even in sight. Now 14 workers just went down. Is Elroye doing it?
It's going to be really close. Still an economic advantage, as is right now for our Protoss player Bales. Mothership Core is just doing whatever it can.
Oh man, that's very unfortunate. That Stalker dies because it was blocked by these Adepts.
There's the Photon Overcharge. That's a huge Photon Overcharge. It targets down one Ravager. The second one is pinned back. It dies as well. And now it's basically just Zerglings coming in here. There's one Roach to kind of anchor this force.
This is kind of annoying to defend, though, because these Lings are way faster than every Protoss unit that currently is.
Yeah.
I mean, Elroye needs to do a lot of damage here. Elroye needs to kill like 6 or 7 more probes.
He's still just making units. He's trying to go in on this bottom part. Force field in the background there might have slowed down the pathing of those Zerglings. Another good surround there, and another Roach dies.
That's a very well done there by Bills. It's 22 workers right now against 19. Elroye has given up on the aggression. He's going to go back to droning. So every probe he gets right now, that will feel magnificent to him. Obviously, Bills has the opportunity to counterattack.
Exactly. That path that the Zerg player used to get in here as quickly as he did can now turn back and bite him in the butt. It's going to be kind of a small force of Protoss units. They are spotted by the Overlord, so more units are coming out. But the nice move about this is they can retreat to that kind of narrowed spot, drop a single force field, and they're walled off.
That's the in control right there, man. I've seen you do that since Wings of Liberty. Move forward, take the Zelnaga Watchtower, and just turn around.
And look at this. They're going to kill the Overlord, which puts the Zerg player in the dark. Now, that's a big deal, but it's especially big right now, again, because of the short distances and because it's Game 3, and Elroye's like, are you committing to this attack? We've seen so many Zergs lose based off of this moment in time right now, and Elroye is kind of walking down the middle plank. He's making some drones and some units, and I mean, we see everything. He doesn't. That's probably his best shot. If he just made units, he would die if Bales doesn't attack, and if he just makes drones, he would die if Bales does attack.
A couple of Roaches are a little bit out of position. If these Roaches get force-fielded out of this ramp, that would be very bad for Elroye. Oh, this is rough, man. Oh, this is super rough. He's going to lose 3 out of these 4 Roaches and not get anything done at all. Now he's going to remake some Zerglings, but Zerglings are not going to do great against these
Guardian
Adepts.
Shield overeager there. He gets 4 force. I mean, these sentries now depleted most of their energy.
Well, I think Bills is just going to be able to do game-ending damage over here.
He needs to recall out of here if he's going to stay. Those eggs are going to hatch in a second. It should be a lot of units. If he loses this army, Bales is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but he's not going to. He would never lose it. He's not going to lose the Mothership Core, right?
You'd hope not.
Oh, the corrosive bow actually splashing on a couple of these drones. Look at these Adepts, man, and doing really good work. Now you can recall. If I was Bills right now, I would recall.
He might be able to just take the fight. Oh, wow. goes with the, I mean, okay.
He's going to lose the sentry. Still, though, the Adepts is still here.
Yeah.
The Adepts is still going to be very annoying. And it's already been a successful attack, right?
Yes, with the drones dying there, he could lose the whole army at this point in time. If the drones hadn't died, a bunch of Zergs spawned out and they just killed that army. I think it's really bad for Bales, but that's not the way it turned out. And Bales knew.
No.
He made a great trade. He's now up. What is that? It's almost 20 harvesters, and that's huge. He knows there's no third base. He has a Warp Prism, so he can kind of indefinitely harass here as long as he doesn't get sloppy. And meanwhile, he's just churning out probes.
And spotting the Spire.
Fantastic.
But the Spire is still kind of annoying, though, because what do you do right now if you're Bills? Do you still go for a 2-base Immortal attack? No, I don't think. I think he wants to end it on 2 bases. I don't think he wants to make a Stargate. I think he wants to just attack with Immortals and Adepts.
I think you're
and
right.
And then a couple of Stalkers, maybe try to hit before the Spire, or if the Spire somehow finishes up, then warp in Stalkers. I don't really mind this choice. Like, if you can end the game, just do it.
Nike Kevin, appreciate it, thank you. Gonna push up here, does he want Creep Tumor, and he's just waiting to spawn with his Warp Prism. You're absolutely right. I mean, the kind of scary part about that is if this attack takes too long to come to fruition or doesn't get going.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hesitate. This is no time for second guessing. If you commit to this, there is 0 anti-air in this army, so kill as many drones as you can. These Ravagers actually doing a pretty good job in pushing this back a little bit. The Spire is about to finish up.
Yeah.
I would warp. You would warp in Stalkers right now, or?
It's a tough call. He can't lose the Warp Prism at all. That's the big clear decider here. He is going to warp in some Stalkers.
No, more Adepts, actually.
No, those are Adepts. I have terrible eyes.
It's okay, I made the same mistake.
I can't tell the difference between the two, but he's got the natural. And even if Muta's popped out right now, the damage has been done. Another mortal shows up.
And it's only 3 Mutalisk as well. That's not a very scary amount of Mutalisk. If you
But
get 7
also,
or 8,
Elroy's had to make units to survive this, so he always knew it's not like 20 Mutas were all of a sudden going to materialize.
Now he's going to warp in Stalkers after picking up the natural, and that's probably enough Stalkers to even fight. Well, that's more than enough Stalkers to fight 3 Mutalisk. GG! Bills does win his first series here on stage. It was far from easy, but he managed to do it.
No, Elroye, it's gonna suck, it's gonna feel rough, but he actually put up a great performance. Coming back in game number 1, game number 2, and this is the unfortunate other side of that feeling though, he had that game probably in the bag and then had it taken from him. A great series between these two young men. We can see Bales not going for the handshake.
It looked like it for a bit. He was like, nope, I'm going straight to Will Chobra.
I have to use the bathroom, something fierce, he says. But a good series between these two players. And a bit of a warm-up, I would say. I think Bales played pretty well, but I don't think well enough to beat some of the monster players we have in this tournament. And I do think Bales is of the caliber to give those guys a tough time, but not with how he played this time.
I mean, and also looking at the other side, I mean, we were joking a little bit before the series, like we have absolutely no idea who Elroye is. Well, we know who he is right now. We know that he can definitely play. I mean, obviously, if you are European, you make the trip all the way to America, either you're crazy passionate or you know how to play. And turned out, well, maybe it's a little bit of both, but this was a very cool series, very close. And make no mistake, if you're European and you don't know Bills that well, Bills is very high regarded when it comes to North American Protoss players. Like you've got Hawk, Puck, Neep, and then it's Bills.
State
as well, but Bills is absolutely top 5, and on a good day, he can beat any of those guys as well. So Bills is nothing to scoff at, and Elroye put up one hell of a fight. Even had opportunities in game number 2 to just take the entire series. So well done by him. Definitely won't forget him. Next time we cast him, we're like, all right, that's the guy we casted in Austin.
We saw the beginning of it. I believe that was the winners match, so we should see more of these guys. But that's enough from us. Let's check out Chobra with the winner, Bales.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Congratulations, Bales. Now moving on to the round of 32. Yeah, a bit of a tough match. I mean, what were your expectations going up against Elroye? Did you know much about Elroye? I mean, did you have some certain predictions on how that was going to pan out?
Yeah, actually today I was playing pretty well. I lost 0-2 to Masa, but I was playing like extremely well. And then I was told I was playing main stage, and I've never played main stage before, so I was a little nervous. But I'm feeling like a winner right now.
All right, well, okay, now that you've won, right, it's a good experience to have on stage when it's your first one. Now, if you have to play again, you know, if you get more opportunities, do you think you're going to go into it a little bit more comfortable?
Oh, definitely.
All right, and then another thing I want to ask, like, you're playing the Argon tournament tomorrow. A little bit of double duty going on here at DreamHack Austin. How's that working out? Is it mentally a little bit pressuring you that you're like, oh, I got to participate in 2 tournaments, got to figure out how to do both? I mean, it's Archon versus, 1v1. How's that working out?
It's a little scary, but it's nice to have 2 birds with 1 stone playing in 2 tournaments. But at the same time, Johnson was probably watching those matches up there, so he could study the VODs or study how we played.
All right, man. Well, once again, congratulations for moving on in the tournament. Thank you very much for all of you guys at home. After a cheeky little break, we'll be back with the round of 32 here at DreamHack Austin.